hope you're enjoying my dad's videos. Make sure to share this video with family and friends, like and subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you get notified for all my dad's new videos. My social media will be tagged down below so you can follow it. And just remember, Jesus loves you.
Hi guys, just one little factor here before we start this video here today. If for any reason my YouTube channel gets taken down, which could happen because we're challenging the deep state and we're challenging the powers behind the scenes. But if it does get taken down, I'm going to share the link below here. We have a website, drcharlieward.co.uk, and you can subscribe on there to our updates and our newsletters, etc., that are being produced by Lee Hemington. But you'll be able to keep in touch with what's going on. So at the moment, everything is nice and smooth. But if for any reason we get taken down, you simply go to my website, drcharlieward.co.uk, and register there, and you'll get all the information as to where we are or where you can view our videos.
One will ask, in the future, how was your pandemic experience? I will have a lot to say, and then I will say, but thank God I came across Charlie Ward. And this to me is how God gives us the right people at the right time when we are ready to receive it.
I couldn't agree.
So I want to say absolutely grateful and really honored, because I did some research on you.
Okay,
and you're a very busy gentleman. And let me just grab my notes because I'm actually prepared. I have a lot of questions. So 1 second.
That's good.
Okay. Yes, because you are someone who has to be respected and honored, and your time is precious. Charlie.
Yeah.
So, a lot of questions I have for you. The first question is quite actually emotional for you, but I believe that we never die, we only transition as a spirit. So I want to ask you, has your son ever gave you any advice or spoken to you when he transitioned to a different dimension?
No, he hasn't, but I feel like I have a close link with him anyway. And there's very often that
How is that?
It's very often when I have questions, it's just in a Charlie way. Instead of just asking God, I often think that he's with God. He's up there with him. And I will talk to him to ask God because he's right next door. So that's just my little way of doing it, you know. And these things happen to work for me, you know. Yeah, it's very easy to get on your knees and ask for something, but it's actually quite nice to get your son to ask for you.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much for answering. And I really appreciate this.
No problem at all.
So, Charlie, I want to ask you this. I'm quite aware of what's happening, mainly because of you and few other places that you can follow and research. From the very first moment I came across your videos, like I don't question, I'm very strong on intuition, which I believe is the voice of God from within us. And that voice instantly told me just to follow you and listen to you. And I very much appreciate what you're sharing with people. My questions, I have few. My question is this. You were very close, and you still are close to very powerful people in high rank positions. And I'm wondering, I don't question your information. I 100% accept what you're saying is the truth. My question is how they allowed you to share this, because this is the knowledge, the whole situation to confuse people. This is like you're almost going against what they wanted. So how is this possible? They were allowing you to share this. How is it? Is it okay? Or
Yeah, they're fine, but I'm only sharing about 50% of what I know. And also, when they tell me, I don't take it at face value. I ask God to clarify it in my mind and in my words, that I deliver it correctly. And I look inside myself to see what makes sense and what's right. I hear so much information, and it's very important that that I try and get the message out as clearly as possible, and not
Is it one source? I'm sorry to interrupt. Is it from one few? Okay, so then you combine the information and you process within yourself.
Yeah, the information I get from 3 or 4 or even 5 different sources, all of which are very, very good.
So your business is, I'm ready here, involved in 4 sectors: hotels, oil and gas, security, currency exchange, and specialties. Currently, you're supplying a number of governments with security advice for prisons. Is it correct?
I was responsible for the security of prisons in the United Kingdom for a number of years on advising them. I've also advised a number of governments overseas on their security of prisons.
So do you know anything about Guantanamo?
I know a little bit about it.
Okay, we will leave it there. That's why I mentioned those things.
Okay.
So, Charlie, I would like to ask you this. I will leave the hardest subject at the end, which is children, which at the end is really the most important thing.
Of course, of course.
And I don't want to go into this now. It's discovery of myself too, because I don't have children. Mm-hmm. But I do feel an incredible connection with their souls and what's happening at this very moment. Okay. So I want to leave it because this is a heavy topic and I get very heavy energy when I talk about it, and it's not easy to go through those things. But when I started talking, I was trying to, in a simple words, as you know, I'm Polish. I live in United States. I was born in Poland during the communism time. And I was 17 years old when the system has changed into democracy. So I've witnessed the regime change. I was actually 8 years old when the martial law started. I was learning different facts in history books, and then I was learning those facts were changed. Russian was forced upon us to be learned at school, and I know what it means when there is no food in the store and you're waiting with your mother for hours and you have like portions of food on those little cards that's only what you can buy. So I've been there. What it means, it was...
one point there.
Yeah.
I fully understand you. My wife is Turkish and she grew up in Bulgaria.
Oh.
And exactly what you just said, she went through everything like that in Bulgaria.
So on that note, when I was, I think, actually brilliant, right on time. I don't believe in coincidences. I was 17 years old. I was on the trip with the schoolmates. It was like an exchange of students. Pretty much what they did, they took you to Bulgaria, on the train for hours to work in those fields with like eggplants, which what we were doing, we were drinking like Bulgarian cognac and get like totally ignoring the work. The point was this: when I was in this train, we were going through the stations. I will never forget, Charlie, on the platforms, like in Romania, the poverty was so extreme that people were standing on those platforms and the kids were begging for anything, for food, medical things, anything. So yes, Bulgaria, I was there, and actually when I was there, they announced after the round table negotiations with Solidarity that the system has been changed. So why I'm saying all of this to you is because I know what brainwashing is very well. Luckily, I grew up in the house where there were a lot of very, very intelligent father, very bright men, deep conversations at, Polish tables, dinners, celebrations, and people talk. So what I was trying to do when I came across you, I was saying, I'm actually a writer. I spent many years in the United States working for very high fashion brands like Chanel, Valentino, Tom Ford. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% sure my clients were your friends or someone you work with, because that's the level. I mean, we know. So how beautiful it was, we know, but how unfulfilling, that's another aspect. So my soul was searching, and I did a lot of spiritual work, and I did a lot of workshops, seminars, Tony Robbins, Walk on Fire, all this stuff. And I started to write a book. And that book was 6 years in the making. Why I'm talking about this, because we will go back to the children. It's actually very important. When this whole situation has started in March and they started lockdown, I was like, great, I will finish my book now and I will publish it. So I did, I self-published. But then for some reason, I couldn't focus on this book, Charlie, on promoting this. Like the interest completely shifted. Imagine you're like giving birth to the baby 6 years, right? And I just dive deep into all of this. So kind of put the book on the side, even though it means a lot to me. Writing means a lot to me. I said, God wants me to investigate. I literally felt this, like God wants me to investigate. So very strange, because my Instagram has very few followers. And that's why this shows the heart of yours. Because someone like you agreeing to have an interview with someone who doesn't have a lot of followers, you just show your greatness right now. Because you don't judge someone by, yes. And I appreciate this so much, because you gave a chance to someone who's not known. So what I want to say this,
there's one point there that I don't know how old you are, but my wife is 45. And when she was 8 years old, when she went into school in Bulgaria, in Varna, she went in on a Turkish passport. So she was in the school on a Turkish passport. And then they changed the rules and said they didn't respect or accept Turkish passport holders.
Yeah.
So they changed her name from Nursel Akif to Nina Akifova and gave her a new passport, took her out of school, put her back in the next day as a completely new person. And that when she was 8 years old. She's 45 now. But that's happened.
How old? She was 8? She was 8?
8 when they changed her passport.
Wow, the mindset. Imagine the psychological aspect of, wow.
Yeah.
Like flip completely. Wow.
Exactly. Changed her name, her passport, sent her back to school the next day as a completely different person.
So she knows life too, because if you start with this background, this is a strong person for sure.
Oh,
someone resilient.
She's strong. Yeah, that's
very resilient.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Charlie, I started to talk about NESARA and GESARA. You know why? Because I felt a lot of people, I don't think so much now, but well, there is. It's just I live in this kind of bubble of my own thinking now. They are still in this doom and gloom. And I really watch carefully how you have those interviews with your guests. And as I appreciate a lot of those guests, and I still acknowledge that a lot of them are still not quite up to speed, because they still get so, as it was intentional, you say, caught up in this situation with virus and vaccines. So I'm not even only ask you about this, because Charlie Frick even said the vaccines will be, if they will be, made of serum that is like a healing serum that actually will help people. So will the Tesla towers to change their energy, the frequency. But what I want to ask you is, because you are really the expert, I trust you in this. Gold and silver, I was never into investing. I have to tell you, my biggest joys in life is traveling. I love to travel, and I love to be around dogs and interesting people and search for deep, meaningful things. But I started to save gold and silver. So my question to you is, because of Pimpy the man.
He's a good friend of mine, Lee. His nickname is Pimpy, but Lee's a good friend. I love him to death. He's a good man.
What I truly believe is what happened to people, all those experts or coaches or all this mumbo jumbo, there is a language often that is very hard for an average person to understand intentionally, right? Is done. So when Pimpy like delivers the message clearly, this is this, this is this, I understood.
Good.
So I put some money, not too much, but doesn't matter, in gold and silver. My question is, Charlie, what is better to buy? Is it better to buy coins or bars?
Bars.
Okay, and
just small bars. You don't need big bars, but small bars.
Why is that? Tell me.
Because they're the purest form.
So if I have now quite some silver coins, like American Eagle dollar, right?
Look, the silver's different, but you want pure silver, you want pure gold.
Okay, so how is the trading, Charlie? If I bring my silver or gold dollars to United Kingdom, how is that?
Yeah, no problem at all. The most important thing with anything like that is if you've got small amounts, it doesn't matter. But if you've got large amounts, very simple, declare it. When you go into customs, you've always got a receipt for when you bought it. You're allowed to do it, but most people are scared to death. But as long as you've got the receipt that you owned it and that you purchased it, you can declare it fully and you can trade it anywhere in the world. And I often say to people, if you're traveling the world, especially as a young lady, if you're traveling the world, you're far better off keeping a few little bars of gold in your purse than loads and loads of banknotes or whatever. So that if anything happens, you can go to a pawnbroker or a gold dealer or whatever,
right,
and turn it into cash. One quick thing, your name is Ania.
Ania, yes.
In Turkish, that means mother.
Oh.
There you go.
Well, I'm not the mother, but I feel like I'm a mother of books.
That's okay. That's okay.
You know, so now, okay, I already checked this also as far as the federal bank, which by the way, this morning I discovered, and I'm not going to read this because you know this, 12 families used to own Federal Bank Reserve. And some of those names are actually those Phoenician names.
Yeah, that's yeah, totally.
Right, yes. So as far as official announcing this, I agree with you. It won't be like a big, you know, Formula One, which by the way, I'm a huge fan. And Ayrton Senna was the best, in my opinion, ever. And actually writing about him now.
No, I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
I love Ayrton Senna. Okay, here we go. So my question is this. How is, my opinion, this is rolled out gradually. So stage this, stage that, next step. Because Federal Bank was announced on December 23rd, 1913 by President Wilson, who, by the way, as I just discovered, was sponsored by Rothschilds.
Correct.
I think that there is a big Christmas gift coming. And I just want to ask you this as far as there is, and I think that's going to be related also with IRS or HRMC. Am I correct in saying? And it can be also related with like birth certificate. Mm-hmm. That there will be an amount of money supposedly paid to people, like deposited to their bank accounts.
Correct.
So I want to ask you, did you hear about this, and what do you think, if you can share, what is this really, this amount of money? It will be probably different, right, depending on the people. Is it going to be something that is related to the taxes that will, like, due to illegal activities, or what is this, Charlie?
Every single case will be different. It'll be to do with taxes, definitely, because we've all been charged fraudulent taxes. We've all been charged fraudulent interest. And there are many, many people that have lost their houses, their businesses, which will be compensated and will be in a completely different place. The numbers and the dates, I don't know. But I know it's coming. It'll be gradual. It won't happen overnight. It will take time. And I just get the feeling this is where karma comes in, Ania. The people that are doing the right thing, the people that have the right spirit, the right views on humanity, the right views of what they're going to do with their money,
yeah,
I think they'll be dealt with first. That's my gut feeling. I've got no evidence to back it up. That's just my feeling.
Is it worldwide? Like, you know, I still have friends and family in Poland. We're talking worldwide, right?
It's everywhere except Poland.
Yeah,
of course, it's worldwide.
Right.
Ania. It's worldwide.
We are not...
It includes Poland. Probably Poland first.
Yes, you know, Polish people are so resilient, I'm telling you. I mean, it's not always the easiest, but they are so resilient, like literally. Okay, so this I ask you, Charlie, now, because I want to ask you about homes. You mentioned in one of the interviews that the value of the homes will drop down significantly, right? So are we talking like, let's give a round number, like $1 million house. So do you think this will go down like 40%, 50%? How you see that?
My gut feeling is they'll go down between 50 and 80%.
Well, that's a lot.
And I think they'll go back to certainly my grandparents. My grandparents used to be able to buy a house with 2 years' salary.
Wow, we see.
And I think we'll go back to those days, because remember, next year you won't be able to get a mortgage. They won't exist.
Right.
Because this is all debt. So
like there will be no more debt, right? Completely no more debt.
So,
for anything, really. Yeah.
No. So people will help each other. It's humankind. We'll be helping each other. You know,
I think this is the best thing that can happen to us, honestly.
Oh, totally. And I think the more you help people, the more you will be given.
Right.
Life. You know, the wealthy will still be wealthy. There won't be that. We won't be driven by it anymore. We won't be controlled by money anymore. We'll have it there, and we'll all have enough. And you'll always have your secret squirrels that are keeping it all for themselves. That's just human nature. But the people that are the most generous in the world are generally the poorest. So when they've got money, you'll find that they'll be willing to help anybody, and they'll educate the wealthy on humanitarianism.
You know, I agree with you, and I have to tell you that one of the biggest disappointments for me during this great awakening now, discovering those facts, was seeing the people who I deeply admired being involved in a lot of those things that are just unspeakable to me.
That's one of the saddest things you could ever imagine, Ania. People who we've looked up to have let us down, and they've been involved in things they shouldn't be.
But there is a blessing in this. So you know what I think, Charlie, is? I think the blessing is that we didn't look inside of us to live the life that God gave us to the best of our ability, but we were looking how we're supposed to live life by the vision that was thrown upon us.
Correct.
And it was almost like you were caught in this web, and you felt like if you don't move the way it is, you're not good enough.
Well, we have a saying in England, keeping up with the Joneses. You know, you're always trying to keep up with these people, and it happens at all. You see it all over the world. And for the last for the last year of my life, I've known a peace inside me that I've just been content. I have a beautiful wife, a beautiful family. I'm very, very blessed. And so when this opportunity came along, I just felt it was put upon me to do this. And I never dreamt it would take this kind of effect, you know. I just started telling the truth. And just remember one thing, I know what a lie is because I used to be the master of it when I was younger. I was very good at it. So I know what it is, I can smell it. So when you start telling the truth, I was just amazed how many people wanted to hear the truth. They were sick and tired of the lies.
Yes.
And I started, as you know, with 37 subscribers on YouTube. That was only,
Yes.
that was 4 months ago. And we're at 128,000 or something today. It's incredible. It's
Yes.
incredible.
Yes. But that's the thing, that at this stage where we are, and I believe it, I'm also a big movie lover.
Okay.
I loved great movies. And now I am also, I made peace with this because I felt sad that romance and that mystery of Hollywood and movies, you know, it's gone. Poof, right? With all of it. You will never look at the movies the same way again. But I also believe that what you're doing, and that's how you show up in people's lives. And I believe we only attract what we vibrate, our energy. So it's a reflection of ourselves, really. So if we are truth seekers, we are finding someone, we're coming across someone who speaks the truth.
Yeah.
And that is beauty now, that the people who are average actually are very special, and that uniqueness will come out of people.
Totally.
And I think it's the best thing that can happen to humanity right now, because now, before I forget, quickly, Gold, Charlie, okay, the clock thing. Clock was like my addiction, okay? The US debt.org clock thing. Checking this gold and silver daily. After you talk to Chris, which, by the way, another Charlie and Chris, like two of my favorite people next to you. Charlie Freak and Chris, I mean, Chris is like, oh my God, it's like you discover the diamond, like all of a sudden the man shows up and he's like brilliant, right? And loaded with knowledge, like loaded. So Charlie, question about the clock. I don't look at this clock anymore because this is maybe not necessarily what the value of gold is. Can you tell me what is really the value
of gold? The gold is being artificially pressed. It's being kept down low while they back all the currencies worldwide. They'll back all the currencies worldwide with gold, silver, or precious metals, or diamonds, or whatever, or cans. But they're artificially keeping the price of gold and silver low until they've literally spread the gold, the silver, and the precious metals around the world to back the currencies. And then they will release it, and then it will go up. I don't know how much by, but it will go up. And everybody has a different view. I'm not a financial advisor. I just know that gold and silver are due to go up because they're being artificially kept low.
So from your experience and how you feel, if now on this clock the gold is showing 1 ounce is $33,000.
Yep.
Do you feel this is approximately what it will be, or no?
No, this is lower than what it will be. It will go up.
God bless you. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, let's hope, you know, things are really happening this week at the moment. Lots of things are happening this week. Next week, the next few weeks, we're going to see lots of things visually that I've been talking about for the last 4 months. So there'll be hard evidence out there.
So the SWIFT is gone on the 31st of August, yep. Sayonara, right?
Yep.
And now I want to mention this, those med beds. I have to tell you, I am so excited about those med beds coming out. That will scan the body, find out. I can't wait, literally. How you feel about this? What do you think? How this will be positioned? Like there will be new places, like new doctor offices, and they will have those beds.
Yeah, the old doctor system that has been completely controlled by money Big Pharma has controlled it for far too long. And of course, Bill Gates is the largest funder of the WHO. So unless it's one of his companies, they've been blocking all this stuff. So this will stop right now. So a lot of this stuff will come out. There's 6,000 patents that'll be released.
Yes.
And the World Health Organization is nothing more than a funked up drug dealer. You know, that's all they are.
100%.
An evil bunch of people that is all driven by money. And just like we're just coming back to you as being Polish, I speak to so many of these doctors who tell me they get Polish, Russian, beautiful girls from that part of the world coming in selling medicines. They've got no idea what they're selling, but they look lovely and pretty and very, very sexy. And of course, the doctors love that. They go, yeah, okay, we'll have it just because you're beautiful. That's not
very smart, huh? So smart move.
Well, it is when you're trying to make millions out of tablets, but if you're trying to care for the public, it's not really the best way to do things.
It's horrible, I know.
But I've always been a sucker for beautiful women, you know.
Well, you know, they know what they are doing, right?
Of course they do. Of course they do.
So, Charlie, I want to ask you also humanitarian projects. I have a big dream. Two dreams. One is to open one of the most unique bookstores in Santa Barbara in California. Okay. That will be inspiring, and it will be for people to come and share knowledge and have conversations as such, not just to buy the books. To build friendships and sense of community and be inspired. So do you think this is something that is like a humanitarian project?
Well, if I break that sentence down, it seems like you're looking to find a new boyfriend.
No.
Okay. No, I think...
No, although because I live very solitary life for quite long, and that was due to my writing, I feel like I am actually getting ready for incredible men. By the way, isn't it a blessing that now if I will have a partner and he would be wearing a mask, I think we will not be partners anymore.
Exactly.
If I mean, isn't it like, this is like the big reveal. It's like the big reveal, mask or no mask.
Now you'll find somebody that's like-minded because they'll be on the same frequency as you.
Exactly. And he's not wearing a mask.
No, exactly. And you can't kiss him if he is anyway.
That's right. Yeah. Some of them may be better to cover the face, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
So, Charlie,
yeah.
I also would like to ask you about who are we really fighting with? So, this is a movie. What a movie. Okay. A lot of people have been already taken care of. I don't have to know the names. Some names, I just listen to my gut. So, I trust that. So who is really fighting against this? Like some leftovers are fighting? What is this? Who is fighting?
There's still some people left over that will be, the number of people that needed to be arrested is huge. And
yes.
The last few to be arrested will be government leaders in Europe. There's a number of officials in government in America. People who are running counties, mayors, what have you, that are corrupt. That have been left. Okay. They've been left in place on purpose to show how bad they are. Because if Trump told you how evil they were, you wouldn't believe
yes.
it.
I agree with you.
He's allowing them to expose themselves and show how absolutely useless they are. The same as it is in Spain right now. They're allowing the government to show how incompetent, how useless, how detached they are, and how they've got no interest for the people, but they're only interested in themselves. And that's why Trump is allowing them to do it. And the next shutdown will be to cover up, cover the arrest of those people. And thank God for that. So we can look forward to the final draining of the swamp, of getting rid of the dirty, horrible people that are left. And then we'll start again by creating new governments. Today was the first day where in Iraq, the man has gone back there, the president's gone back there, fired the entire political parliament there, and will replace them with people that he can trust and people that are on his page and people that will work with him and Trump to make
this is huge. This is huge, actually.
This is massive.
This is massive. This is massive. It is.
And then they'll be the first economy to be revalued. And once they've been revalued, the dominoes will fall.
So, oh my God, you're like, I feel like this is like, I'm like the Aladdin who got into the cave and I can just, you like this knowledge is coming, Charlie. Okay, two things, because I will forget. So we're talking about removing the leftovers, I call them. Now, this means governors and those in those positions. You know, I live in California. I don't want to say the name because even just looking or saying the name, I already have like, oh.
Yeah.
How you feel this will go to the election is going to be a fight, right? To November 3rd.
It'll be a fight.
Yeah, but how this will be for like those states, like for example, California, like as far as how far they will go with like, let's say, the vaccines and all of this, you know, I'm just curious, like how you see this.
They'll go right to the door, and Trump will stop them at the last minute, just so that the Californians wake up to how evil these people are. He will let them go right to the door. And if they vote for Democrats, they'll probably be allowed to have a vaccine, according to Trump, just to make people realize.
So if you were in my position, would you leave the state of California and come back after some time?
I never run away from trouble. I'll always face it up.
That's why I'm here, because I feel like I'm a courageous person, you know?
Exactly. I would stay there, but I would, in my own words, I would hibernate. I'd keep out of the way.
That's what I do.
Exactly.
And I'm not in Los Angeles. You know, Santa Barbara is more laid back. So now you are talking about Iraq and the situation there.
Yeah.
Now, as far as, because I also, and I heard you did the same thing, and I was like, yes, you bought on eBay, so did I. I bought on eBay some Vietnamese dong.
Yeah.
And some strange money from Zimbabwe.
Yeah,
I'm not
10 trillion notes.
Right, but Pimpy was telling in his videos that that money that I actually have is like not really what I should have. So I don't know, but
I don't know.
But exchange rate, like, okay, so now they're gonna bring those markets like to try to even this out. So if I have like half a million of, what is this, Vietnamese dong, is it going to be 1-to-1?
I don't know. It'll all come from the redemption centers, and you'll be given a phone number or a website to go on to, and then you'll have a communication with them as to what your intentions are with the money, and that will define what the exchange rate is. It will be based on a humanitarian basis.
Okay, so you don't know really, and we gotta wait and see. Okay. Yep. Okay, Charlie, this is the last thing. But before I say this, I just want to say, because if Mr. President is watching us, I want to say something that not many people talk about, which is this. His wife hardly ever gets any acknowledgement. And I know she removed herself from the spotlight, and I applaud this and I respect this, because I see how important it is what he's doing. But look, this is one of the most elegant women who ever was the first lady in the White House, right? You don't see any cover on the magazine. You don't see any editorials, right? What you see is someone who is not a woman, and someone who, I mean, all of this is just like a Muppet show, really. I want to say that I really appreciate her pose and her dignity, how she's quiet, but she's very, very deep and aware of things. And I can see this through her eyes, because her eyes are almost like cut through the soul. You can see this.
Yeah.
So I tell you what I would like to do, because the topic of children is the last topic I want to tell you about this. There was one interview you had with Jeannie, I think you say this gentleman name, he's Decoder.
Yeah.
And knowledge. And he mentioned that about 92% of those underground facilities are already taken care of in United States. And I agree with you, Charlie, when you mentioned, and I had this thought before too, those hospitals and that ship that was docked outside New York City, and those camps.
Yep.
That were actually for this whole rescue situation. I just want to tell you this. To me, those people, those soldiers who went there, those women, those nurses who took that flesh and held it close, those to me are people who I have no words to how much I appreciate someone who is so selfless, so selfless, and goes so in such a challenging, horrible situation, and they sacrifice everything. They are mothers, they are fathers, they have families too. It's not like only single people go there, no. And I was thinking, how can I, in my power, to help, right? So I don't trust those foundations anymore. I don't trust those charities anymore. When I published my book, I realized that I dedicated whole chapter to United Nations. I wrote about my life in my book, Charlie. UN is whole chapter. It's not what I thought it was, because I wanted to be involved. I lived in New York and LA. I moved around, Las Vegas, work at the Wynn Hotel. By the way, I met Mr. Trump and Melania Trump at the Anchor store, Chanel Anchor store in Las Vegas. They were the clients. So I had this moment of meeting them in person, right? But where I'm going with this, I had a chapter about Oprah Winfrey, about some famous people, and they are not who they were, who I thought they were. So I said, I felt this discomfort about this, like almost like kind of you feel like dirty, that you were writing in such a beautiful way about something that is not good really at all. So I said, how can I like clean this energy of this book now and make a positive change? So I decided to, at this point, to donate 50% of sales from this book to the organization that helps with victims of children trafficking. And I tell you that ultimately, I feel like I'm writing next books. I want to donate 100% of my book sales to this organization. And I tell you, when I think about all of this, and I ask about gold and this and that, at the end of the day, what I truly think it is, this is the karmic debt that those souls of those children and women decided to take upon themselves to help all of us. They sacrifice, those beings, they sacrifice, aware of this or not, for us to actually make this whole change on this planet. And this, to me, I don't think there is ever anything that can be more selfless and beautiful when you think about it.
Totally.
It's because of them. It's because of them. Because if we don't heal, we never heal if we don't save and rescue, and even the moment of how to rehabilitate, how to bring those children to life, to the existence. Some of them, they never lived on Earth.
Sure, sure.
I just want to ask you this. Do you think this will be the end of such a horrible things? Do you think when they destroy all of this underground, do you think this will be over?
That's a deep question, because one thing that I've been very clear on the whole of this journey is that for the last 30, 40, 50 years, evil has been in control. We're going through a period of our lives right now where good is taking back control.
Yeah.
Now, evil will still exist without a shadow of a doubt. I just hope that the evil is nowhere near as bad as it's been for the last 50 years. There will still be evil out there. It won't be a bed of roses. It'll be difficult, but it will be a lot better than it has been. And good will be in control, because evil has been in control, and it's absolutely evil. And
Yes.
it's way over against, way on the evil side, to such an extent that these evil people, royal families, politicians,
Yes.
leaders of countries, actually didn't think there was anything wrong. They thought it was normal. And these people, this is why Donald Trump changed the law: crimes against humanity, child trafficking, paedophilia,
Confiscate.
death sentence.
And confiscate.
Confiscate, exactly. So yeah, there will still be evil out there, but they'll have wrestled back control and get rid of the deep evil. As he said right at the start, he's draining the swamp. And I don't think any of us had any idea how dirty that swamp was. And he's getting rid of the filthy, dirty people. There'll still be bad people out there, but they won't be anywhere near as the ones he's got rid of. Nowhere near as bad.
You know, you watch the videos. I heard the recording of the witness who watched the videos. So I think what there is also that not many people are aware, we are not really talking here only about human beings. We are talking about something completely else. And that is my question, because this is God's work right here.
Sure.
No human can fight this. Only God can fight this.
Sure. No, I agree with that. And God is supporting Donald Trump.
Right.
God is supporting Donald Trump, and he's supporting people like you and I who are getting the truth out there without a shadow of a doubt. Without God helping us, this message wouldn't be going anywhere.
So, Charlie, you are the first person I interview. I'm not even recording this. So if you're recording, please record and I will contact you after. But I want to tell you this. I wanted to start this channel. It will be called Through the Eyes of. And the idea of this YouTube channel will be I will travel the world and meet different people, some known, some not known. And I will ask them to show me the world where they live through their eyes. I'm not in Malaga, right? You're in Malaga?
Yeah, Malaga, yeah.
I'm not in, but very good ice cream, by the way. I'm not in Malaga yet, but we are where we are. So I want to hear, what is the world through Charlie Ward's eyes? Tell me the world, how you see the world.
Well, I live in paradise here with beautiful weather. And we've been through a very difficult period, but the world we're coming into now is absolutely beautiful on so many levels. I was a lost soul for a number of years, but I found happiness, I found contentment, I found love. I often tease my wife and tell her that she's 95% perfect, 5% terrorist.
I love that.
It's the 5% I love. I love the lot of her. I've said many times too, she's everything I ever looked for in a woman and about 50% more. I've been very blessed, and that's God that's blessed me for doing the right thing.
Charlie, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank your wife too, because I went to watch the video of your wedding in Barbados.
Oh yeah?
And her posture is very strong, but there is so much grace in her voice.
Jeez.
It's the warmth and grace in the voice. And then the little Justin angel, he was so cute with the little head. I mean, he was just so adorable. So I want to thank you, first of all, for even finding me out there and giving me your time and for your presence. And I would like to meet you in person and your wife one day when all of this open and we can travel freely.
Perfect, no problem at all.
And please keep on going because I know there are people who wake up to your videos, and I got addicted to them, I have to admit. That's a good addiction.
Thank you. Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
From the bottom of my heart, and those who will not speak to you, thank you for being who you are and for speaking to people all of this information. Thank you so much, Charlie.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, it's Justin, and I hope you're enjoying my dad's videos. Make sure to share this video with family and friends, like and subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you get notified for all my dad's new videos. My social media will be tagged down below so you can follow it. And just remember, Jesus loves you.